There we go. So just for the sake of the recording, let me go back really quick just for a split second and just say, just a reminder, service forms and volunteer reports are due today for the month of April. We really want to start capturing, or we want people to start thinking about the households that they have worked with from the beginning of their service term to now, and see if there's any wrap-up forms that you need to fill out for households that have been housed, or you've helped them maintain their housing. So you do have the option to email me your forms, and I will enter them into America Learns. So just a reminder. And again, for our AmeriCorps Direct Service members, the last living allowance deposit date is July 22nd. There's a total of 26 pay periods in this program year, and there are no living allowances that are deposited in August unless you're serving for another term of service. Okay. Vista members, I just want to say thank you. We want to say thank you so much. Everyone completed their third quarterly progress report. We really, really appreciate it. We have a report that's coming due soon to Vista, and we use this information, about the projects and the work that you're doing to inform them about how we should continue our Vista project and why it's so important across the state. So thank you so much. And then just another little reminder, impact stories are due on May 20th. Also, Vista members, some of you, not summer, oh my gosh, some of you are getting close to the end of your term of service. Some of you started in July, some of you started in August. Whatever your end date is, this is something that you'll have to be doing. So you may have received an email from AmeriCorps. So it's probably something very generic. It may even go to your spam account. But once you're about 60 days out from your end date, they'll send you this email about the future plans form being released in your MyAmeriCorps account. So if you haven't been to that account since the beginning of your term, that is the account where you completed all of those onboarding forms, you applied to your project through it. If you need any help with that, or if you need the link or anything, I can definitely share that with you. But there is a future plans form that is part of your exit process through Vista. So we'll need you to fill that out. And I will be sending out emails to you and your supervisors with some additional information information that we need. One of the documents is called Summary of Accomplishments. So your supervisor will talk to us about some of the highlights of your project, and then your end of service evaluation. So no matter what AmeriCorps program you serve in, it is required by AmeriCorps at the federal level that each member have two evaluations completed. So this will be, the final one. So we just wanted to put that on y'all's radar. If you were to see an email about that, it's not some information that, we just need for whatever reason. This is required by Vista. Vista members, the final progress report. So if you are a July or early August exit, your last report will be due on July 13th. If you are a late August member, it will be due August 17th, and then other members who were onboarded in the later fall months, we will send you guys a report separately. So there's so many things that happen within these last several months towards the end of our project and with the AmeriCorps Direct Service Program as well. We just wanted to go ahead and get that lined out so you guys can start looking at that. So it will, your reports will cover May through the end of your service term. So if you have any questions whenever that opens up and you get that email from America Learns, feel free to reach out to us. Holidays and personal days. So this is for all members. There are right now, I guess with some of the VISTA projects, it could be a little bit different. But since we're just going through the month of July, here are the upcoming holidays. Memorial Day, Juneteenth, which will be observed on Monday, June 20th, and 4th of July. These are days off from service. In regards to the AmeriCorps Direct Service members who have that hour requirement, these are just days off. So you're not going to get, 7.5 hours that goes to your hour requirement. It's just simply a day off. So think about where you're at with your hours. We want to make sure that everyone has a successful year and the end of their service. So just think about where you're at with your hours. And if you are looking to take personal days, talk with that or talk to your supervisors about any personal time. Think about the remaining days that you have to take, but also think about where you're at with your schedule and the amount of hours that you have remaining between now and July 31st. Because we would hate for someone to be, 5 hours short or something. That's just an example of, being eligible for that education award. VISTA members, I just wanted to bring this policy back up. I think it's talked about during your virtual member orientation, which was, so long ago. But VISTA does not allow members to take time off during their last month of service, and that's to help really wrap up the project and hand it off to whoever's going to be taking over once your project ends, whether that's another VISTA member or a volunteer or a staff member. That's not our policy, that is a VISTA policy. And if there are obviously some accommodations can be made, we just have to talk about that. So we just sent out an email to everyone about our end of year training with the registration form and link in it. Those dates have not changed, so they are, it is set for July 6th and 7th. We had the first survey sent out early April. We took everything into consideration. So this final registration is really going to help us, like I said, finalize our plans for the training and see where we're going to be at for both training days, who's going to be participating in person, virtual, everything like that. If there are rooms that people need, we have to have all of that into Capitol Plaza by June. So that's why it will be due, or we would like for you to complete it by May 27th. So that gives you a good amount of time to look all of it over. So just to bring up again, participation on the 7th is required. If you are in person, a mask is required as well. if you are serving in either program and you are thinking about returning for another year of service, that's a conversation that you'll want to talk to your supervisor and your site about, and then loop us in. If you are thinking about that, there are some requirements. It doesn't matter which program you're in when it comes to service forms or reports, and same with like your quarterly reports. If you're a Vista member, those are completed in a timely manner. AmeriCorps members, that hour requirement needs to be completed, and if you're in good standings with standards of conduct and any other types of policies that your site may have. So that is a pretty group effort conversation. This is when we need to start having those conversations. So if that's something that you're thinking about, talk to your supervisor, let us know. We love having members serve again. And I think that's my last slide. So I'm going to mute myself and check the chat, and I'll answer everybody's questions that they might have in the chat. And so I'm going to hand it over to Caitlin.
Hey everyone. Holly, I'll take over the slides.
Okay.
So
Do you want me to stop sharing? Okay.
I'll take it.
Okay.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so happy to be here with you. As always, if you can let me know if you can hear me or if there's any sound issues before I get started. It has been so long since I've run one of these, so I appreciate your grace in me figuring out how to do this. Okay, so Holly is gonna watch the chat while I am going through my slides. Things that we experienced, Holly and me, as we were members going through our end of year. And then I am going to talk to you about some other opportunities if you're looking to see what's next for you. This is a slide that we like to share. This may not be your experience. It may be something that looks unfamiliar to you, but maybe it does look very familiar to you. So over 12 months, you do go through a lot of phases during your service year, your commitment. A lot of us enter our service really excited and enthusiastic. Once we get into the swing of things, we might be thinking, oh no, what the heck did I just get into? The learning curve can take a long time. My dad always has said that it takes, about 6 months to figure out what you're really doing. And that can be hard when your position is only 1 year or maybe even less than that. Then you may be figuring out how you add to the group, how you're part of the team, what is your role at your site, what are you doing? And then when you're really getting into the groove of things, you might be right towards the end of your AmeriCorps cycle. Or you might be like this: burnt out, stressed out, fatigued, exhausted, all those sorts of emotions. And so, if that's sort of where you're at, these next couple slides are going to be for you. And even if this isn't where you're at, you may find something helpful as well. So, if you are one of those people that are stressed out or burnt out or all of those, things, it may show up in these different ways. So, it can appear as behavioral or emotional manifestations, intellectual manifestations, or physical. I am a very emotional person. You can pretty much read exactly what I'm thinking or feeling from my body language and the look on my face. And so I am one of I'm one of those people that when I'm experiencing stress or fatigue or burnout, it comes up in those sorts of things. Mood swings, frustration, anger, things like that. Really critical of myself, maybe indecisive. The initiative just might not be there, no energy to do the things that we're supposed to be doing, things like that. Forgetfulness or lack of awareness, not really sure what's going on, what's happening around you. And then those physical manifestations as well. So self-care, again, I know you're entering your final chapter, but I think this is when self-care really becomes really important. It's important all the time, but especially as we're trying to get to that finish line. So making sure we're continuing to set good boundaries, understanding what our role is at our service site. We do know that that means being a team player at the same time. And so even if your role is very specific, I'm the new home housing counselor, that's all I do. But if someone comes in need of, maybe an intake or an assessment, if you have the ability and the knowledge to do that, stepping in to help out your service site or the people at your site, as long as it's not overtaking what you're there to do. Again, you do have that primary role there, but being a part of the group and being part of a team is helpful. Embracing your total self, so understanding your strengths and your vulnerabilities. All these little bullet points I have on here, I'm sure there are things you have all heard of before, so I don't think I'm sharing anything profound or, huge revelation that you might have, but I think it is good to get a couple, reminders or things maybe that you haven't thought of. And not all of these work for everyone. So in no way, am I saying do all these things or prescribing them or anything like that. But if exercise is helpful for you, or downtime, or playing video games or playing basketball or going for a walk in the park, whatever works for you, which is the next bullet point, knowing what works for you. You know yourself best. You know what your needs are. So taking that time, setting it aside to take care of yourself. It can be so hard to do that, especially when we have more than just what we do at our site, right? We're not just AmeriCorps members. We are individuals. We're parents. We're spouses. We're roommates. We're siblings. We're, children of our parents. We have so many different roles. So knowing yourself, knowing what works best for you, and figuring out how to take care of yourself. Some people may find it helpful to have a checklist of small things that they can go through and cross off as they get those things done. Connecting with your support network. So that may mean people at your service site, your site supervisor, friends, family. That can include me and Holly. That's, Holly's the member coordinator. That's what she's here for. You can also connect with me. That's what we want to do. We want to make sure that you have a successful year and a meaningful year. Limiting caffeine and alcohol, that's something that comes up a lot. You may not even take part in any of those things. Making healthier choices for eating, creative outlets. So painting, throwing pottery, dancing, whatever would work for you. Other recommendations, focusing daily on your accomplishments. I think it's easy to really get bogged down and focus on things that we didn't do well or mistakes that were made. But maybe taking a moment to jot down 3 things that went well, or 3 things that you specifically accomplished or did, or your value or your worth, things like that. Avoid criticizing yourself unnecessarily. We're all human. We all have that worth and value. So keeping that in mind instead of focusing on anything that went wrong all the time. Giving yourself a gift, special treat, maybe it's a nice coffee, or a muffin, whatever that might be. Creating a space in your home that feels serene and peaceful, if you have that space available. Keeping your environment organized and tidy. Allie had said this a couple weeks ago that she had taken some time to reorganize her office after our staff moved, and it felt very refreshing to her that she was able to look forward with like renewed clarity and organization after taking time to get set up. Writing daily in a gratitude journal to help refocus your mind. Making a list of what is valued or enjoyable in your life, somewhere where you can see it daily. Some people find value in nurturing their spirit using reflection or meditation or prayer. And then I do think it's very important for communication. I think that's important in all types of, or all areas of your life, not just we're talking about self-care, but communicating with your support network or your site supervisor or our staff on what your needs are, if you're experiencing that burnout, if there's something that you need to ensure you are successful in finishing. If we can make it happen, we absolutely will try, and we hope we can make it happen for you. But we can't help you unless we know. So just reach out. Okay, so the next few slides, I'm going to talk to you about what's next. So maybe some of you already have a job lined up, or you're going to college, or you are retiring, or maybe you want to serve another year. So maybe you already know what's going on and you don't need these slides, but just, keeping an ear open and here, maybe there's some opportunities for someone in your life, maybe a family member or a friend who might be looking for something. Yeah. So we have, coming up, we have 38 placements for AmeriCorps Direct Service positions, and we have 15 VISTA projects. We're very excited about our next program year. We know some of you will be staying with us, and we're so excited about that. I'm calling this probable service sites because we haven't officially announced what our sites will be, but I do have some of them listed on there. Some of them may be listed and you're like, hey, I'm serving another year. Why is that on there? We're not factoring that in yet. We're just listing every site that we think we're going to work with. So you'll see sites in Louisville or Lexington, Frankfort, Ashland. For our direct service positions, we have housing services, we have homeless services, and then we have construction. That's on the next slide. But if you are interested in any service site, maybe you've had a good experience at your current site, or you're looking for something to do next year that's different, or maybe you want to just try something different anyway, we're happy to connect you to a different site. These are our construction sites. We have sites in Covington and Beverly and Paducah. And then with VISTA, that's our indirect service program, of course. We have a ton of sites in Louisville and Frankfort. In Lexington, we are very concentrated in central Kentucky. But then we do have some outliers in Covington and Franklin and Berea. If you are interested in sticking with AmeriCorps, but you're like, hey, I don't think homeless or housing services is really for me, what's out there? There are several other AmeriCorps direct service programs. There's a map on the screen that you can see. Every little icon that's in a county means that there's AmeriCorps sites available as of this current year. So as you can see, there is a lot of coverage. I'm going to try and open this up. Is it showing you a web page now?
It was.
Great. Thank you.
I don't know. Yeah.
So I'm not going to go through all of the program names, but I just want to show you that you can visit serve.ky.gov. And you can check out all the AmeriCorps programs, and you can see details on where they serve at, how many positions they have, what their focus is. So there's education programs out there. There's environmental stewardship programs, working with seniors, working with at-risk youth. I mean, there's so many options out there. So if you are interested in learning about a different program, I encourage you to check out serve.ky.gov. Okay. All right, now I'm going back to PowerPoint. I'm going to run quickly through the 3 branches of national service. You may already be familiar with these. One of the branches, AmeriCorps State or National, so that is our direct service folks. There are people that serve across the United States and the U.S. territories. There are very broad focus areas. So again, not just housing. There's about food security, education, environmental stewardship, disaster relief, working with veteran and military families. You can just search everything. If you look for myamericorps.gov and listings, you can just check out everything that's available. There's a lot out there. AmeriCorps NCCC, this is a unique branch. The people that can serve in this program are 18 to 24 years old. They travel in teams across different regions. There's 4 regions. It's a 10-month program. You do a lot of hands-on work, so that it can include cleaning up trails, disaster recovery. There are program or positions and projects that focus on new homes or home repair. They do all sorts of stuff. So if you're the type of person that likes doing a lot of different things and want to learn a lot about a lot of different things, anywhere between 18 and 24, I would suggest you check out NCCC. AmeriCorps Vista, that is our other program that we have at HHCK. It's indirect service, focused on capacity building and strengthening organizations. So that's going to be your grant writing, marketing, building partnerships, volunteer recruitment and management, event planning, program development, hands-off activities. You do have to be at least 18 to serve. There's no upper age limit, and it is a 1-year, 365-day commitment. So a little similar to a lot of our AmeriCorps positions, but you're not focused on hours. You're just focused on that 1 year, 365 days. If you're interested in checking out all the listings that are available in the United States and just seeing what's out there, you'll go to myamericorps.gov and you'll just click on the search listings option. So you don't even have to log in, you can just click it. And you can do a quick search, selecting what type of program you want. So whether you're interested in Vista or state, national, or NCCC. Or you can do the advanced search. So you can tell us exactly what you're looking for, what type of service term, where you want to serve, if you have special interest areas, what skills you have. And then it'll pull up all the matches or all the positions that are similar to what you're looking for. And if you are 55 or older, you can join AmeriCorps Senior. So there are 3 programs under AmeriCorps Senior, Senior Companions, Foster Grandparents, and RSVP. And they all have their own specific focus as well. So the time commitment varies for your term of service. For some programs, it's just a few hours a week. It's whatever you're looking for. It kind of fits into what your interest is and what your availability is as well. So if you're interested in finding, you can also look on nationalservice.gov's website. Peace Corps. So if you were with us a few months ago, you did hear from Erica Ward, who's a Peace Corps recruiter based out of Louisville. So I'm not going to talk too much about Peace Corps. If you're interested, we can send you that presentation if you weren't able to join us. But Peace Corps is about a 2-year commitment. I think it's 27 months when you include training and orientation. And the mission is to provide social and economic development abroad. So you would be serving in a different country, and you would have your own specific project. If you are interested in the idea of continuing in a service-oriented position, but you don't think AmeriCorps is a good fit for you, I would implore you to check out servicehere.org. So this is an entire database, website, resource that can connect you to service opportunities, not necessarily just AmeriCorps. You can set up your profile, share what your interests are. It'll match you with different listings that might appeal to you based on what you told them. And then if there's an organization like us, we review profiles. And if we see something, or not something, someone that might be a good fit, we can send them like a little ping and ask them if they'd be interested in applying. So you may have that happen to you if you set up an account and an organization connected with you that way. Youth Build, this may be a program you're already familiar with. It is for young adults that can learn construction skills through building affordable housing and other community assets. They receive support in earning a high school diploma or GED, gain skills, and learn leadership skills. And ultimately, if you are still looking for volunteer ideas or volunteer opportunities, but you're not really interested in like a full service here commitment, you can check out these websites: Volunteer Match, Idealist, All for Good. Reach out to your local nonprofits or community organizations. I'm sure all of you are very familiar with the resources in your area after having served. So we would encourage you to look local and see what you can do to make a difference right there in your own town. And getting outdoor with your educational award, this is something we'll talk more about at end of year. But if you are someone that you're receiving the educational award, but you don't have any plans to use it for like a traditional college course or student loan or tuition, don't let that money go to waste. There's other opportunities to figure out how to use your educational award. And we'll talk more about that at end of year. But if you want to check out those two real quick, there are two programs: National Outdoor Leadership School and Outward Bound, where you can use your educational award to do really fun, awesome things like what's on the screen, like adult sailing in the Bahamas. I had no idea that was an opportunity when I was a member. I used mine for student loans instead, which is very valuable. But if you don't have loans and you're looking to use your educational award for something, maybe check out one of those opportunities. So that's it for me, actually. I don't have anything else. Does anyone have any questions about anything I just talked about or anything Holly went over? I know she's been managing the chat. Okay, well, I'm going to assume silence means everyone is good to go. So I'll go ahead and wrap things up. Again, this presentation, we always upload it to YouTube, so you'll be able to listen to it. Holly will send out the recap email. And then don't forget to check out the email that was sent out for Homes for All about registration for end of year. Please check out that survey if you have any questions first. And then if you don't find your answer from these slides or from that registration, go ahead and text or call us and we'll get your questions answered. And with that, have a good day, everyone. We'll talk to you later.